Welcome to part 5 of my Harry Potter shelf tour. So this is one of 5 of the shelves I've so far showcased. And this one's a bit of a mix and match. Some of the items go together, some of them don't. Let's get into it. So the first item, this is from the Wizarding World in Universal Orlando. It is the Decoy Detonator as featured in Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows, which they use to enter the Ministry of Magic. It is a toy. This bit doesn't wind up. This bit doesn't honk like a traditional horn. It's completely solid. And I'll show you in just a moment. But it does actually make noise. I think the batteries have actually run out on this now, but it makes that noise, that little honking noise. Here's where you insert the batteries, and it has got wheels. So it's kind of like one of those pulley toys where you pull them back and then it winds and then it like runs by itself. And that's when the noise normally happens. I was trying to figure out why, but I guess the batteries run out. Very cute little thing. And this is actually one of the larger sizes from Wizarding World in Japan. There's a smaller version of this, which my friend Kat has, which you can see here. Do want to get that one as well because it's super cute. Next item is the Dolores Umbridge Detention Quill. Now this is the quill that, as you see, Harry writes on the paper. Red ink comes out. It's not actually red ink. Turns out it's blood. It's being scratched into the back of his hand. It sits on this little stand that comes with it. And let's just quickly have a look at the stand. It isn't like magnetic. Obviously Harry Potter on the bottom. It has little grooves where the quill sits on, but that's it. Onto the quill. Here you can see it is quite sharp, and I wanted to see, I could actually fit my nail in, so it is like a quill. I've never used it with ink, but I wonder if you could. It is quite sharp. I would recommend being careful because you could probably scratch yourself, not that I would write down the back of my hand, but just for demonstration purposes. And this quill sits nicely on my shelf alongside my Dolores Umbridge wand, which you can see over there, which I'll review in just a moment. Now onto the Hermione section of the shelf, which is Hermione's Time Turner. This is from Noble Collection. This is what the box looks like. It has a little design on the left and the right. There's nothing on the back. It is a lovely little wooden box though, but that is how it looks. There is a mirror at the back with Harry Potter, and that's where the rest of the chain part of the Time Turner sits. It kind of sits like hidden behind the mirror. You can see it like tucks in there. There's a little bit of a bother to get in and out, which you'll see in just a moment. But if you can get it out, it then just houses the Time Turner very nicely on display. And I would say it is a very beautiful piece. It is a display only piece, but it does have movable sand bits in it. You can twist it to a certain extent. It does twist, but some of them are a little bit fragile, like the hingy bit. So this isn't really a wearable piece of jewelry like I think there are other pieces of jewelry that are wearable, but it does twist, and it oscillates just like you would imagine, like a kind of spherical thing like this does. It's very nice, it's very lovely, but just a bit delicate, really. So I'm hesitant to get it in and out of this box because of that reason, and also it's a little bit cumbersome with this mirror hiding the chain bit, and it's not very long either. This definitely wouldn't fit around 2 people. As you can see, it sort of tucks behind that mirror bit, and I won't have you watch me struggle. I'll just cut to that being inside the box, and there is the Time Turner. Would recommend, is lovely. Next is a really new item, and I have reviewed this in a public YouTube video, which you can check out on my channel. This is the Azkaban prison sign. The numbers aren't like removable, they are fully stuck in and they are paper. So my next DIY, I think I'd like to have different numbers that you could put in there. But the rest of it is actually really good. It's 3D, I don't know if you can see, but it is like etched in the Azkaban prison sign. It is inside, it's not just like printed on and then painted inside. Lovely. And it's got all the etching and to make it look like, you know, horrible and gnarly, like you'd imagine something from a prison would be, handled by Dementors and prisoners. It has this sturdy chain on for hanging purposes, and I would say the weight of it is pretty much like, I would say like a standard frame. It's not heavy, but it's not like light either. I would say the back does take you out of the magic somewhat with all this, you know, signage and Wizarding World trademark stuff, but if we ignore that, the front of it is very in the world, in Wizarding World, so just look at the front and you can stay in the magical world. Next is my Hermione magical bag, which I house in this box that I found from IKEA quite some time ago. I believe they don't unfortunately do this anymore, but if you can find something like this, it's just something to fit the bag in and keep it dust free and safe, because this is now no longer available and goes for really expensive prices. I snapped mine up for a bargain one time on eBay. I had those notifications and I was lucky one day. So keep at it if you're still looking for it. But this is what it looks like. It is lovely beaded. It is very screen accurate from what I've seen the prop to look like. It is the closer version. I did do a review of this and the newer Noble Collection one, which you can see again publicly on YouTube. I'll link that and you can see that. Here are the beads at the bottom. It's all very beautiful. I believe this was hand done and I think cost quite a lot of money to make. And there were problems with the quality. So I think that's why one of the reasons why it stopped. Has this lovely cord and these little bunches at the end, and as you open it up, it literally just like expands out to quite a big bag, really. I don't know if they designed to actually be usable. I just have some scrunched up tissue paper to keep the shape, because otherwise it just looks like a lifeless sort of bag in the inside. And there's the Harry Potter labels on the inside. If you'd like to see what it's made of, these are the materials that's inside. I should really take that out because it kind of ruins the magic a bit, but we won't look inside. There is not an undetectable extension charm in my one yet. But you can see Hermione holds it kind of like this in the film. She walks around with it, and you can see the lovely beads on the top of that bit there as well. Back in the box it goes. Onto my Dolores Umbridge one. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit quite well into my little shelf here, but it just sits at an angle. Look at the display. There is lovely gold Dolores Umbridge sign at the bottom, and the middle bit that holds it up looks like a lovely ribbon, which I think is very in keeping with this. And the top is literally just the hook where the wand hooks onto it. The back does have a bit if you want to hang it to the wall, and has those little cushiony pads to protect the wall as well. It's very well designed. Unfortunately, I believe it's only available in the UK, so sorry about anyone watching in America or around the world. It is a little bit tricky to get hold of. Onto the wand itself, it is actually quite a remarkable wand. I remembered it being a lot more pink, and definitely this gemstone, I believe, was more pink. I think they had problems with the manufacturer. I think it was a marble, actually, and there was two separate parts, and this was glued together. I believe there were problems with things breaking, but now they fixed that. But now there's that horrible metal rod that you can see through this resin gemstone, which only really is like a hint of pink. So that's the detriment there, but at least we have a wand that doesn't break. The rest of the wand, it's quite a light wand, and the rest of the wand has got lovely, design on that. It looks very wooden, even though it isn't made from wood. I would say this is a great one to have. It has a sharp point that, if only it balanced like that and stood up straight, I think that'd be a great display. But as it hangs nicely on that pink display, I think they've done a really good job with this. And if you love Umbridge, we all love to hate Umbridge. This is a remarkable wand. Prize position. And there is part 5 of my Harry Potter shelf tour. I really hope you enjoyed seeing this section. There are obviously other parts of my shelf that I've yet to showcase, and I will get to that in the upcoming months and weeks. So look forward to that. Otherwise, if you have any questions, do drop me a message and I will help as best I can. Thanks for watching.